But you see, as you talk of some that have been underpaid, some are even being happy, being paid shit. I've met people that will do drawing for you for 20,000 naira. Somebody saying he wants to do Easter promo. Yes, architecture. You know, some clients know the worth of you, but they will test you. You know how much you went through in architecture.
Yes, sir.
As I speak to you, I am still going through, even as a PhD. But if you allow a landholder or a client that you call, it takes your payment, you're not an architect. And that's what's going on with all the young architects now. They need money. I was shocked to see laptops of 3 million, 4 million,
Yes, sir.
5 million. But if you can buy that kind of a laptop, then I don't even think that you can also downgrade yourself with how much you collect from a client. You know how much you spend. But in most cases, the laptop was given to you. Teaching, practice,
Yes, sir.
are two different things entirely. The outside world is a different journey entirely. You learn this, you learn that, but the outside world is the one that's going to give you the right knowledge that you need. There's some design you will do, I'll look at you and say, beautiful. But why don't you think you can do this? Don't you think you can put the door here? You yourself will reason with me that,
Hi guys, welcome back to Beyond the Drawing Board, and I am here with someone I so much respect. He's my mentor, and I spent 2 to 3 years working with him, and during this period it was an amazing time. And I'm here to introduce you all to architect Wale Bakare.
Meet architect Adewale Bakare, an architect, educator, and industry leader shaping both spaces and minds. A firstborn with a strong sense of responsibility, he's not just building a career, but a legacy as a husband and proud father of 4 daughters. He spent over a decade lecturing at Adewale Polytechnic, and today leads as the head of Department of Architecture at DS Adegbenro ICT Polytechnic. From his early years at Forwarday and Associates to founding DW Lines Limited, he has consistently pushed the boundaries of design and construction. This is a conversation about experience, leadership, and what it truly means to grow in architecture.
It's nice to have you on the show, sir.
thank you so much.
So, sir, Beyond the Drawing Board, it's a platform where we tend to teach architects to think beyond drawings and also help landowners and also build people that wants to build to have an understanding of what actually goes on in this industry. So I want people to get to know who you are as a person.
Well, my name is Wale Bakare, as you rightly said. I'm the firstborn of 4 children. My father, it's an electronics engineering, and I have 4 girls. 4 girls, and I worked in Adewale Polytechnic for 12 years as a lecturer, and now presently the HOD of DS Adegbenro. Now, I used to also work in Forwarday Associates, and before I now have my own office. So for now, I am on my own, still striving and moving by His grace.
Sir, so the first question I would like for us to delve into is, from your experience teaching and practicing, what do you think is the biggest disconnect between what we young architects are taught and what we actually meet in school, what we actually meet in the real world?
Teaching.
Like as a teacher and also practicing.
Practice.
Yes, sir.
Are 2 different things entirely. When we started architecture, then everything we were learning inside the room was like, that's life. But when we got out, we found out that it's just the beginning. I used to tell my students, whatever you are learning here, hold it, because it's going to help you in the outside world. The outside world is a different journey entirely. You learn this, you learn that, but the outside world is the one that's going to give you the right knowledge that you need. That is when you see the plain thing. For example, you're talking about foundation. You see different types of foundation. We talk about strip foundation. You talk about pad foundation. Yes, the same thing that is being taught is the same thing on ground.
Yes,
but you see, there are times that you will get to the field and you will see that it's different. When I say different, there are some things in the strip foundation that was not taught.
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me give you an example of a wall that is cracked. When you are in the class, a cracked wall can mean a lot of things to you. It can even tell you there is a default in your block. It can even tell you that the foundation is setting, which is normally the right one. Maybe the foundation was not compacted well. But when they tell you how to treat that kind of wall, you may be shocked in the class. But when you get there on the practice, you'll be shocked on new things. There are some walls that are cracked. There are some we call plaster crack.
Yes, sir.
You understand? But you see, when you see some crack, there are some that you just need to just crack into the wall, crack, and just put reinforcement.
Yes, sir.
By the time you put that, some even use wire mesh. They put wire mesh on it, and by the time you plaster it, you will never, ever see that crack. It's never taught in the classroom. They won't teach you that in the classroom. It's a different thing entirely. I used to remember then too, when we'll go to site, we'll just buy drinks. All these drinks that all these people.
Yes.
You remember I used to tell you, just get there. If it's all this peleme that they ask you, give it to them. They will teach you more than what you want to learn there. They will start giving you experience. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying the bricklayer has more knowledge than us. But you see, the experience they have, they will also give you some inner experience that you will look at it and say, this is right.
So, sir, does that mean when it comes to school, when it comes to school and the real world, it's like a whole different ballgame?
It's not a whole different ballgame. Don't get me wrong. The school is a continuation, but don't expect that it is everything you learn in the school that you want to get into outer world.
You don't want to practice.
You want to practice, or you want to even see. Some you may not even see it. Some you see a different thing entirely. Okay, look at you have a small wall. Nowadays we have compact buildings. Our Intel, what was taught is you casting, you putting the reinforcement, and do your Intel. But do you know that you can get to a place that they will cast that Intel on the floor? You cannot be taught in the class that. They will cast it on the floor. We call it precast.
Yes, sir.
And they will lift it up, put it there. As long as the diameter is not too much, put it there. When they plaster it, you can never tell that it was a precast Intel. You can never tell that it was an Intel that was done by carpenter, welder, and everything. But nowadays, they use that one. One is cheaper. It's better. You can even know what you want to. Your mix, everything you see there.
Yes.
If you are not even careful, 3 people will not be able to carry it. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now, I'm not telling you that's the best. Neither am I telling you the one you learned in class was not the best also. But different approach. When you get to the field, you see another different approach, different from what you were trained. But your first learning starts the journey and helps your journey to move. So you cannot escape the crafts. You cannot go straight. If you go straight to the field, you are becoming a draftsman or you are becoming just all these name man. So it's a different thing.
Sir, I want to ask this question. Why would some lecturers want to impose their own ideology on students? Let me use this as an example.
Okay.
There are some lecturers, they love courtyard. And then they will be like, if they don't see a courtyard in your building, in your design, they tend to fault it automatically. So what should we kind of like say towards that aspect also?
When you are in Rome, you behave like a Roman.
Okay.
But that doesn't now say that it is right for a lecturer to tell you that this is the best, like I said. There are things that you need to steal from each lecturer. When I was in school, this lecturer has this kind of concept. I was telling one of my students in class that I have a lecturer. He will draw every detail, as in detail, full detail. He will draw it often without looking at the textbook. May his soul continue to rest in peace. Architect Oderilaw will tell you this detail. He will bring it out clear. If you get to the field, you will see that detail. He's right. But you see, imposing your knowledge, let me put it that way, into another person doesn't make you a good architect. And at the same time, doesn't make that student too becoming a good architect. Like you just did an example, courtyard. How many people do courtyard now? Yes, I know I have seen lecturers that will tell you, if you don't put a courtyard, it cannot work. You are very right. But nowadays, you leave your student to go out, explore. I like my students to explore. I like them to tell me what they... In fact, sometimes I'll be like a fool. I don't even know. I'll tell you to give me what you want to give me. Let me see. Then I'll look at you. It's a good one. But you can do more than this. So with that, it gives you the knowledge. And for example, people that have worked under me, there's some design you will do. I'll look at you and say, beautiful. But why don't you think you can do this? Don't you think you can put a door here? If you put a door here, it will work. You yourself will reason with me that, putting this door here will be much more better. Not me telling you that compulsory you have to put that door here. There.
Yeah, that's true, sir.
So any lecturer that tells you that you have to put it there, there's something. Because when you get out, and you get to the field, you find out that some of the things, that's why you see some students saying they get there and what they thought is rubbish. But you see people that when they see the ones that want to help them, when they gather, you say, they will even call and say, thank you, sir. I just gained what you taught me 2 years ago and I never even believed then.
I can relate to it.
That's just the point. So it's always good.
Yes, sir. So, sir, moving on to the next question. A lot of we young architects today, we feel underpaid or even cheated in the industry. But at the same time, many of our clients, they feel like they're not getting enough value for the money they are paying. So it's more like there's this kind of clash between the young architects and also the clients.
The client.
Or we call the clients the landowners. And then there's this clash like we young architects, we feel when we give invoices to clients, they are like, it's too much. So we feel undervalued and also underpriced. And the clients or landowners, they feel like they are paying too much and they're not getting the necessary value that they should receive. So as a lecturer and also a practicing architect, what do you think is going on?
Let me start with this. I have met with young, should I use the word architect? No, they are not architects. I've seen young ones striving to be architect because you know what it takes to be an architect.
Yes, sir.
Many don't even have it. Many have not even got into that field. I've seen a lot of HND holders that have not even done BSc. They call themselves architects. It's not an easy thing. But you know, one thing about it is the knowledge. Even in Polytechnic, the knowledge that you have. But you see, as you talk of some that have been underpaid, some are even being happy, being paid shits. I've met people that will do drawing for you for 20,000 naira. And they'll be happy that they're doing it for that 20,000. I saw an advert in the group one time. Somebody saying he wants to do Easter promo.
Architecture drawing.
Yes, architecture. You know the funniest thing about the architecture drawing? He's not even only architecture drawing. He put it as architecture, mechanical, structural of a bungalow of 3-bedroom and says 380,000. Then went to duplex, still giving them the structural, electrical. Are you a structural engineer? Are you a mechanical engineer? Are you an electrical engineer? And said the normal price before was maybe 700. Now cut it slash and put 500. If I'm right. The whole group started shaking. People started asking, how did we get there? How did we ask this? Now, clients, coming to clients, the ones you call the landowner too. Some clients know the worth of you, but they will test you. They know what you want, but sometimes they will play with you. I've met a client that knows my worth, that I did a very big project for, but will tell you that no. I can't pay that the last time. But if you stand on your feet and know that this is my value, sometimes we always look at, well, let me just do this thing so that at least the money is not losing. It's not that, but you are degrading yourself. When I was growing up, I used to jump to everything, as in everything. If they give me 100,000, I'll tell them yes. I have a client recently now that I've been working with for the past 5 years. All of a sudden, he stopped. I didn't call him. I didn't beg him. We were not fighting. This was even construction after building. All of a sudden, he just called me one day and asked me, am I around? I said, yes. He said they would like to see me. He's not in town.
Okay.
And I told him, no problem. The next thing he said was, he wanted me to continue the project. Whoa. Number one, this is somebody that I know that I can never call. But because I stood on my ground, I had to show that no. There are sometimes that thing will say, you better call this man. No matter how much he's going to pay you, it's still something. But if you stand, you know how much you went through in architecture.
Yes, sir.
As I speak to you, I am still going through, even as a PhD.
Wow.
The level you know that you will continue to still strive. I told some of my students in class, I said, be strong, stand firm. I know of a girl in my class that was brought from SLT to come and do architecture. She will cry and cry. I told her one day, I said, do you know that I know that you can become a strong architect? Do you know why? I saw the potential in some of our work. And I told her, do you know that maybe God actually brought you here? Can I tell you now that it's one of my best students? In fact, she's so bold now. If you know your worth, all other things will follow. But if you allow a landholder or a client that you call dictate your payment, you're not an architect. You have a range. There are sometimes you can bend a little bit. The percentage you're supposed to take, there are sometimes you need to bend. When I say you need, maybe a family client, they just say, why not I do this for you? You understand?
Yes.
But there are sometimes you don't even need to do that. Because the very moment you do that, I've lost a client, just me. giving me a very low invoice. And I did the presentation. He loved it. But when it comes to dealing, and I gave him, he looked at me and said, I don't think you can handle this project.
Wow.
It's bigger than you. I cried. Till I got home, my eyes were just dropping. I lost that project. And that was the day I started learning that thing now. Come, tell them the actual price. Don't downgrade yourself because you need money. And that's what's going on with all the young architects now. You need money. You want to quickly go. And there are some things that is even serious now. I was shocked to see laptops of 3 million, 4 million,
Yes, sir.
5 million. We have not gotten to that stage during our time. How did it? But if you can buy that kind of a laptop, then I don't even think that you can also downgrade yourself with how much you collect from a client. You know how much you spend. But in most cases, the laptop was given to you. You don't know the value. That's why you can tell them, okay, sir, a project that you're supposed to take 2.something million by calculation, don't worry, sir, I'll take 400,000, sir. Is that not extremely
Downgraded.
So those are some of the things young architects do now.
But sir, leading to what's name, like I want to ask this question. Won't it now seem to the landowners or clients that this set of people or this set of professionals are arrogant? Or should I say like they are
As an architect, you look proud. Even you sitting there looking at me, you look proud. Proud or arrogant is not in our dictionary. Because the natural thing as an architect, the very moment you even start the practice, you will see that your shoulders are high. Even among your friends.
Yes, sir.
And Kiloman Shane gone now. Why are you always like this now? They will just be doing you coming into my room alone when I was a student, and you see drawings on the floor, and you just come in. The scream, the shout alone will tell you that you are arrogant. Because they say, what is this? Please go back, go. They will look at you and say, ordinary paper. Eh?
But they don't
Do you know that word, ordinary paper, can make you become proud?
Yes.
Because if you analyze that paper, they will look at you and what's wrong with you? Why are you shouting because of paper? Ordinary. The paper that I used 3 days on. The paper that, even after that 3 days, I've not completed it. You are calling me it ordinary. So you see, as an architect, everybody looks at you as if you are proud. But you are not. The truth is, as an architect, you are bold. And if you are bold, no matter what, that boldness can be proud. Because some of you, when an adult talks to you and say this, no, sir, I disagree.
We'll stand on our ground.
Yes. Say, you're even arguing with me. No, sir, I am not arguing. But I'm telling you, this and this will cause trouble for you if you go on this way. To an adult, you are arrogant. To an adult, you are proud. But in the construction, in architecture, my brother, you are proud. In fact, when you get to the site alone, talking to your workers alone, the ones that know you will know that this is my oga. The ones that don't know you will say, this one is proud. Getting to the side and saying somebody, hello, can you get down from there? Get down. Come down. And he doesn't understand you telling him to get down, but the people that work with you have known that, the guy is not wearing an ML. The guy is not wearing a protective jacket. Oga will send him out. And you don't even need to talk. After he's out, hello, out. Security, take him out. What would the guy say?
You're proud.
That man is proud, man. That man is arrogant. But safety pushes you to that proudness. Those are some of the things that make you look. We are not proud. And if you say we are proud, my brother, we are proud.
So, sir, what do you think young architects need to understand earlier about value so they don't end up competing on price or feeling undervalued?
Learning early about value is very important. I didn't learn any. I wanted to just make money. In fact, I think I was in ND2 when I started making money. I was happy. Not knowing I was stupid. I didn't know my value. In fact, it got to a certain stage. I was doing a contract for my mom, a house, which was in a very swampy place. I had to invite another brother to come and help me. You need to see how the guy was talking to my mom. I was determined that, I have to get to this stage. This guy cannot be talking to my mom because of this money. And at the end of the day, when we finished that project and I actually graduated, I saw that all the things he came to do was rubbish. He didn't even know anything. He didn't. But as a young architect, the very moment you are signed into the school of architecture, your value has increased. School fees is not a joke. Materials is not a joke. I could tell my students when I was telling them all the things they were to buy. One of them was not arrogant, was not proud, but the shock made him stand up and say, I'm not doing it again. No, this is too much. When he hears the price of set of pencil, pen, and this, can you tell what you have spent in architecture? You can never. I told my students in the early days, I said, take a book. Every material that you buy, write them down. At the end of first year, go and calculate that material. Then you will know your value. Because when you look at it, a set of pen now, you know how much it goes for? Compass, Rotring, 6,005. Not the original one like we used to buy there, you know. When I say the original, you know what I mean? Drop it on the floor. It comes back to you.
Sir.
Drop this one. It will break.
Oh.
Pen. One pen, not set. One pen. It's about 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, depending on the maker. Now, how can you now do all these things and not have a value? And do you know one thing? Have you ever seen an architect dress rubbishly?
No, sir.
That's value. People will look at you and say, wow, this guy is cute. This guy is neat. That's your value. Because we have started practicing the way you look is the way you will be addressed.
Right from school.
Right the day that you sign architecture, it is there. You cannot even enter into an architectural office and a lecturer and say you want to sign your form and they look at you and say, now the generation has changed. People wear slippers, people wear this. But even at that, you still see that sign. You see them like, are you an architect? In my school, I've seen a lecturer come to meet me and say, good afternoon, sir. I see you here in this school. What lecture, what department are you? I say architecture. You say, oh.
Wonder.
I said, why did you say that? I said, I've always observed your dressing. I never knew somebody was actually looking. But you know, as an architect, that value that you have in you will make you look good, will make you dress. Have you ever seen an architect drive rubbish car? If they drive, they are taking it to site. The clean one is underneath the garage, kept there for better meetings, outings, clubbing. You understand?
Yes, sir.
But the very moment you start architecture, your value increase. You cannot degrade it. If you degrade it, something will pull it out one day. If you degrade yourself and you wait for a project and God is at your back, and you know, and they look at you and said, this presentation is, we know we cannot pay your money. You have it in mind that you're not going to take nothing less than maybe 2 million. And you know, when they say, I said, well, I think we'll start with an offer of 10 million. Won't you go crazy? That is when you now feel big and say, no, 12. But in your dream, you were thinking of 2 million. Then you now realize that value has been there. Even right from when you started with just sketches. So we have very big value in the resource.
So I want to ask another question. If you had to guide a young architect starting today, and also a landowner or a client that is about to begin a project, you have an architect, a young growing architect, and you have a client, a new landowner that wants to start building, what will you tell them both differently so the process becomes smoother, more profitable, and less frustrating for them? So the way it is more like you bring this architect here, you bring this landowner here, and then you tell them this is what you need to do, and then you leave them to it. So what will you tell them differently?
As an architect, definitely before you start, you need to do a survey of the area. Not only the survey that you have, you need to know the area. You don't just jump into design. You need to know where. That is where analysis came in that we started with. A student really didn't understand analysis until it got turned on them. I have a room in my father's apartment. During the day, it kind of look hot. During the night, that's where all of us want to go and sleep because it's very cold. That's where the analysis came in. Now, when you explain all these things to the architect, you let him understand the value we just said, what you need to do, how you need to start, all this, and how you undo your client also matters. As an architect, no matter how big you are, that's why I won't use the word proud, because in the English dictionary, proud means you're, in fact, it goes beyond arrogant.
You're above him.
Yes.
Above.
But when you are bold, that's why I like that word. When you are bold, you can go into anything. I remember I was still in school when I had to go and defend a project with my boss in front of Bengadani, the governor of Ogun State. I was shaking, as in shaking. But my boss would always tell me, nobody's above you. And when we got there and we started presenting, I was the one with the system projecting. My boss was the one talking. There are sometimes my boss will skip some things. I'll have to flash him back and I'll tell him, sir, no, that. At the end of the day, the governor looked at me from far and said, this guy is bold. For him to even stand like this in the midst of commissioners and people like that, I was looking at them that, yeah, they are big people, but this is not my own. You understand?
Yes, sir.
Now to the client owner. I was telling somebody today, who wants to start a project. I advised her, who's my auntie, that we need to get to the site. We need to first of all make sure that we provide water. She told me, no, we'll get a tank, we'll rent. I said at the end of that building, the money that you use in buying that water, if you're not careful, you've always almost spent half of what you need to dig it up. She now said, okay, what do you do? I said, it's either we do a well or we do a borehole.
Oh.
She said, I've always dreamed of a borehole. I always like borehole. I said, ma, there's some borehole, if you do it, you will cry. Let us go there first. Let's do the survey of the area. You will see somebody that said his borehole met a ring, met a rock, met this. How many? During the dry season. How did you survive? If you do the analysis, after we've seen, we'll now wait to see which one we need to do. So as a client, it's not only just about payment. But you see, most of these clients now, they are ready to spend 10 million on their building. They are not ready to spend 1 million on you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know the funniest thing? I gave an analysis to a client one day. They are ready to spend 1 million on a bricklayer because to them, he's the one working.
Yes, sir.
But you, that has the brain, they are not ready to spend 500,000 on you. They will tell you, it's not just, in fact, it's even worse now. They will tell you did it on the laptop. I've seen a client send me an AI drawing. AI produced drawing, floor plan, and elevation. And he told me, bring it out. And after I gave him the bill, he said, for what? I designed it. I said, your design will not work. He said, what do you mean? This is what I want. When I started with him, AI gave you this. If you build this and you stay there, you will cost the so-called imaginary AI. And I will not be the party to it. But if you do this and correct this and do this, it was like, oh, I like that. That's good. So, you know, the way you speak to both parties, make them to actually know the value of each person. An architect must know the value of his client. He's your client. In fact, he's your boss.
Okay.
Because without him, you can't be there.
Yes.
The client must also know the value of the architect. So if the two of them knows their value, the work will go very fine and lovely. So it is also about value too and what you can give. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You cannot do too much. You cannot do less. You have to do it in such a way that people look at you and say, I know of a friend that built that Titanic when we were in school. We looked at him, we were like, he's crazy. How can you design a boat as an house? The day we saw that thing come to life, he himself did not know it has come to life. They used time to collect it from him. He got down from the car, took picture like, wow, this is my drawing. So, you see, there are some of the things. They bought it off from him. Bought it off. But, you know, he was happy. The pride of an architect is to see that your project comes to life. And the pride also, the happiness also of a client is to see that my dream house has come true. So you see that we are striving for the same goal. So if we are striving for the same goal, we have to be in the same understanding.
The same alignment.
We have to align together. If you derail a little bit from that alignment, there's a problem on the site.
So, sir, going back to the architect aspect, once the client approach us, how should we respond? Should we respond by, okay, let's give value first before asking for payment, or we should ask for payment before receiving value? Because I've seen instances where the moments where we give value without payment, we often get cheated. And over time, we've now come to realize that, oh, probably these people are just here to just use our head.
Do you know the way you give value is different from the way you can present it? Like I told you now, how you can speak and your client will understand. You cannot give a client anything now without telling him your views. But do you know there are ways you can do it? Let the client speak. Let him tell you what he wants. Let him tell you his dream. Jot it down. Get everything ready. In fact, in the process of him telling you, also adding, I've dealt with somebody, a politician. He was giving him his dream and I was telling him that, yes, you can do this. He needed a secret door also that he can also pass that nobody will know. And when I told him, I said, yes, we can put it here. You open through here and nobody was looking at me that, wow, this guy is in his brain.
Mm.
I even go more than what
What
he
he
planned. You know, after you've done that, it is not less for you. It is easier for you to talk about your bill. Your bill does not come first.
So it's value.
If you give them your bill first, even me, that I'm an architect, if I want to do something and I tell you, and the first thing is your bill, I look at it and what's your problem? After you've explained, after that, you now tell him, no problem. I'll send my invoice to you. Or you can even discuss the invoice there at the spot. That no problem. My invoice. Things are even much more easier. As you're even discussing, you can take that tablet and
Take a sketch.
even after you've done that sketch and said this, your invoice, you're speaking, you're already calculating your invoice. And when you speak, after you finish and said, I've sent the invoice to your email service now, then you can now discuss. Because you know, clients, even at every stage you were taught in school, presentation has a value.
Yes.
Working drawing has
The value.
construction has a value. So if you don't give that value to them at that point, before you even get to the board, you will not get it. Do you know some of our workers always ask for advance before they start work? Why do we give them? They know their value. If a welder wants to do something for me, and on the spot there he has given me, and I have to pay him the advance, why is an architect not being paid? But you know the problem we have, especially we young architects, presentation. Our boldness does not stop us from presenting well. I've seen a girl when we were doing jury during my time as a lecturer. If I had to call her out of the hall and tell them to do with other people, they've not started. She was standing. When she saw like 4 lecturers standing in front, she was shaking.
Wow.
Shaking was the first start. When questions started throwing, bam, she was actually explaining, and this is my this, and I said, no. Wait, you need to start from here. She started crying. And I told her after that, you need to relax. Let's go to the next person. I told her immediately, let me tell you, all those people standing are not lying. They are humans. And just imagine those people standing are your clients. Will you do that? You've actually lost the job. Be bold. The girl is one of the boldest person I've met now. When she got back to the university, go and see her. So paying does not have to come first. Throw your value out. Let them see your what. The way you speak, the way you explain. Like he just said, he was explaining, and you were just using your time to just give a sketch. I said, is this what you're thinking about? He said, wow. Do you know you've actually won? And at the end of the day, after you finish and you say, okay, I've gotten it down, sir. Now we need to talk about the invoice. I've sent the invoice. Let's discuss about it. He knows your value. He has to pay in advance before you start work.
Yes.
Don't ever give a client your presentation without commitment. We call it commitment. He has to commit something. I've done it a lot. I've given clients, and at the end of the day, I saw the building come alive. Who am I going to hold?
Come on.
No one. Because I did a presentation to him. And he used this presentation to call one of his bricklayers that could interpret at least a little bit. If you see the elevation, you will know it is the one. So they go together.
So, sir, I still want to kind of like go back to a statement you made. And that is the fact that of the lady that was fidgeting when she was trying to present. I feel we young architects, why some of us tend to be skeptical, or should I say like we are scared of clients, was because of what we experience when we're in school.
Like,
Most of our lecturers are frightening. And I feel it is also the mindset that they have with clients. That is what they bring to what's the name? That's what they bring to the classroom. And they hardly drop it at home. They also bring it to the classroom. And that fear, when we young architects, when we are just entering the school of architecture, when we get there, it is something that is so real. We don't expect it. And that fear tends to stay with most of us. I feel it is after school. That is when a majority of us start shedding it off little by little, provided we have mentors that would put, like, for the lady in, for example, I would say she was lucky she met you. There are some lecturers that are not like you. They will want the fear to be in the students just to have that whole feeling. So I feel it was that consciousness also we took, and then we took into the real world, where whenever a client is talking, we try as much as possible to relate with them the same way we relate with our lecturers. So we are not always that forthcoming, we are not always bold, we don't speak our mind. When a client is like, this is what I want, we're like, okay, since that's what you want, that's what we'll do.
Well, let me kind of agree and disagree. If I use this generation, I will agree. Because this generation, you can't use a soft hand to take some of them. They don't even want to learn. They don't. I was telling my student about Leofat, Akidata. And one of them was telling me that, is it compulsory? Why do I need an Akidata? Even after I've explained, after I've shown you, he's still asking. Now, some lecturers were bought in a very hard way during their school days. Some were naturally hard. I had some lecturers like that too. Like, I used to be afraid to even go to his class. But if you go deep into it, you'll find out that they are one of the best lecturers when it comes to lecturing.
Yes, sir.
But the only thing is, some have this belief that I don't take shit. Do you know that if I get late a minute to the class, my students will call me? Why? Because they enjoy the class. Apart from me lecturing, it is an interactive class. I always do it in such a way that makes them understand. I have two boys that was admitted to my class, 100 level. They came to the class and their shoulders were naturally high. I noticed. And when you come to my class, I first of all ask you a question. Who are you? How did you get here? Nobody comes to architecture anyhow. That's why I always hate that narrative that I chose electrical. They gave me architecture. Who does that now? Schools still do it. I had to go to them in my admission office and tell them, please, you should stop this. Even if we need students, don't force. But some are ordained.
Yes, sir.
They know that they want to do this, but God has actually told them that this is where you are going. They are not listening. God will push them there. Now, if you're a lecturer that is free, that understands like you will know. You don't have to be too harsh. At the same time, sometimes you have to be harsh because of students. I've seen a student that comes to my class that does not wear belt. He will sag. I'll tell him, hello, out. You cannot be a student in architecture and people will not look at you. Look at you. You are dressed. Look at what you are even wearing. Some will look at you and say, wow, look at this. You will always look good. But do you know that the best of the best is to have a one-on-one contact with your students? Let them understand why they are here. Let them understand the journey ahead of them. I've seen a boy tell me that I don't think I can survive. And I told him, you will survive. The boys that I told them that they came and their hands were high, I took them to a site in the school one day just to explain for them in building construction. Nintel, column. These boys failed. They don't understand. And they are telling me that they've been on the field as a draftsman for 2 years. So they came to the class and started proving to those students that there's nothing they cannot draw. It's not about the drawing. It's about you understanding what is in the drawing. So there are some lecturers that may be harsh. If you see how productive that lecturer is, can you ignore the
harshness?
Take it off. Imagine they are not even existing in that part. Imagine that what you want to gain is what you want to hear from them. We have a lecturer when we were in school too, Architect Adepeju. Architect Adepeju is a very simple man. Very simple man. Very simple man. If he speaks and you don't listen, he will keep quiet, he will not talk. But do you know you've lost 1,000 things that you're supposed to gain at that time? He will even talk to you. When I was in school, I had issues. Architect Adepeju will call me, speak to me, explain things to me, and look at him. But there are some lecturers, when they enter into the class, all of us will be shaking. But those kind of lecturers are the one we give accolade to today. Because what they taught us those time, the fear that we must not miss his class is there. Normally, I don't like neatness. And as an architect, you should not. If a client tells you that he has to meet you by 8 o'clock, you have to be there before 8 itself. That's one respect as an architect. So, you now seeing those kind of fears when we were in school then, compared to now. I've seen a student park beside me and looked into my eyes and said, was telling his friend, this man made me who I am today. And I said, Who are you? He said, I didn't remember him. No, he mentioned his name. It rang the bell. He's now working in one Chinese firm. And I told him straight away, beautiful. Are you still on track? He said, how, sir? You finished your polytechnic. Have you gone back to the university? Oga, I'm making my money now. Yay! No, you have not made the money. Go back. Let us all struggle and become an architect. Do you know that the guy today is an architect, proud architect? He said that statement I made to him that day did not go off his head. Each time he will sit down, he will remember, Adewale said, even when he was married. Even as I speak, I'm in my line of almost finishing my PhD. It's not an easy thing. I see students that are even like my children. But we stay in the same class, I'll still explain to them. So the harshness is not supposed to be something that has to scare you. And let me tell you, you can't run away from it. Don't let me use the word. But can I use it? There are some lecturers that are sadists. Natural sadists. It is not that wicked. It's a natural thing. But that does not mean you will not gain what you need to gain. Let me give one good thing for you. Can you try it? Everybody listening here that wants to even work and do architecture. Can you have a diary and write the name of a lecturer on top of that diary? In a particular page, Adewale Bakare, Adeshegum Majiagbe. Everything you steal from his brain, can you write it down? In other words, try and get one knowledge, no matter how small it is, out of one lecturer that steps into your way. Even when you go for IT, that boss, his friend that you met, steal something from him. Is it concept? Is he saying? Is he dressing? Is his words? Steal it. Write it down. At the end of the day, if you see that you now put all these things together, you will now see that you are best than one person. You have actually captured many architects that you came your way. You've captured one thing. I did not ask you to capture the bad part. Not say because my guy is a drunkard. You now write it down that you two want to start drinking. No. You know all this saying when we were young, it nearly destroyed us. The lecturer came to our class when we were young and told us as an architect, if you don't take one of these things, you're in trouble. 1, is either you drink. 2, is either you smoke. 3, is either you read. You know, you like that part. And the last one, you have to womanize. If you don't do any of this, you are not an architect. Truly speaking, if you look at it very well, even there's one there added. I've seen architects that if they don't smoke, their inspiration does not come. That's the killing part of you. And that's how you know what that's your business. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I know of a brother, my younger brother will lock himself into his toilet. Music, playing. That's where his inspiration comes in. If you go to his toilet, you see a small bookshelf. Inside the toilet, that's a part of understanding your client. He will take the book and a notepad. As he is in the toilet, that's where his inspiration comes in. And he will sketch. Let him come out of that toilet. You will see what he will do. That is it. You have to know yourself too. It's not just about knowing the lecturer and saying because of this man, I will not go to his class. It may be that particular person will help you. So it's always good to study, know who and who is good.
So I think what I actually learned is that in every architect that comes our way, we shouldn't look towards the bad side. We should just take that which is good.
Something. Just because there's a particular lecturer in our school now, is a very big man now in a top one. If he enters into the class, we all shake. But do you know I got a lot of things from him? It was from him I got his boldness. No matter who you are, he's bold. I used to look at him and wonder, this man is arrogant. But he was not arrogant. Bold. That's the word. And that's it. Nobody, who are you? Good morning, sir. The respect is there. I will respect you. But boldness, no kidding. No. We can't do it this way, sir. Let's look at it this way. The way you explain it, you see him and say, wow, that's good. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Like I would say I learned a lot. Though I've always learned from you. But today I would say I kind of like learned a lot in retrospect to how one architect needs to understand in retrospect to value, and also what landowners and client also needs to understand about we architects. And I really appreciate you. And I'm just using this to also tell you that this won't be the last podcast I'm having with you, sir. I'm still going to call you to come
We are always together.
to speak. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, sir.
Thank you so much.
So thank you guys, and this we come to the conclusion, the final stage of this podcast, and I really appreciate you. I will see you guys on the next episode. This is Beyond the Drawing Board.